overwhelm you guys with points. Let me know if it becomes overwhelming. Okay, so now we talked about themes of each week. And now where are we moving on to?
The academic areas. Throughout the course of the summer, we'll be reinforcing and assisting your child in subject areas such as math and language arts. The funding that is given to the Salvation Army for their learning centers, the grants include and are focused on math and reading. Research finds that a lot of students that are of lower income status struggle with reading and mathematics. So when these agencies write grants for programs for funding, they usually focus on math and reading and language arts because that's where they'll gain the most money and income from. And that's how the program is free for families. So focusing on language arts, some of the skills that we will be working on with your child include word skills, such as spelling and compound words, grammar and sentence skills, reading comprehension, which is a big one. We find that several kids are able to read text, but understanding it and being able to retell something is a struggle. So that's one of the key points that we will be focusing on. Another one includes main idea and supporting details, as well as sequencing and summarization.
Can you repeat right after, you said after the reading, and then the reading comprehension, what's the next thing that you said after that?
Main idea and supporting details.
So since she's kind of, and so far she seems to be giving the terms and then explaining them. So I'm going to say, okay, so now on to next one, main idea and supporting details. Main idea and supporting details. And then she's going to go, so I'm going to be real kind of English in this part, and then she's going to explain it. Next one, sequencing and summarization. So sequencing and summarization. But it's on my math too, notice that? So I'm going to be English, I'm going to give the words, and then I'm going to follow up with her description. Because that's kind of the tone she's taking in this moment. So go back to reading comprehension.
Another skill that we'll also be focusing on is reading comprehension. And we find that students struggle with reading comprehension. When given a text, a book, or anything that involves reading, they struggle to comprehend the information and then retell it. So for example, if I were to give a child a book and have the child sit and read it, and after they're done, ask them questions, we find that students are unable to answer these questions. So that's one of the skills that we want to hone in on this summer and try to help them continue that practice so that that skill is not lost. The next one is main idea and supporting details. And again, that's what the given text, being able to pick that out of a text. The next one is sequencing and summarization. And that's just simply putting things in order, ordering events, and then being able to read a story and then just summarize it. Just tell me what you read in the story. The next one is word skills, rhyming and syllables, and that includes poetry. The next skill is fact and opinion, finding out something that's true, and then being able to give an opinion about a specific topic. And then the last one is the writing process itself. A lot of students struggle with the writing process, and so our hope is to be able to encourage them to continue that writing process and continue to learn. In math, we'll be exploring assessment and number sense, operations, pattern, and functions, meaning multiplication, addition, subtraction. We'll be doing some graphing, as well as fractions and decimals. Data analysis and problem solving. Problem solving is a hard one for some students. We know that they struggle in reading, so when they struggle in reading, they're unable to do math because they can't read. And so that's one thing that we want to practice with them on. The next one is algebraic thinking, probability and outcome, and then geometry and angles. And keep in mind, the students that participate in this program, their grades range from 2nd to 5th grade. So the children that come during their academic sessions, they'll be split up in groups. So
what grades were they from?
2nd through 5th. So during their academic times, they'll be split up in groups according to their ability level. And we get that information from their teachers before they finish the school year program. That way we're giving them age-appropriate, grade level material.
Can you hold on 1 second? Age appropriate, age appropriate, what did you say?
Grade level material.
Grade level material, I can't put that, I can't get
So-
the words out of my mind with that, to figure out what that means.
A lot of this is showing versus telling. So the kids are separated, and so they all have the same skill level.
Oh, that would
So
help.
then, books, studies, whatever given matches their skill level, their grade match.
Okay.
And so if you had them set up there, and then it's just a matter of taking that information, putting it into ASL and matching it with them,
Okay.
which would be conceptually actually accurate stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Am I talking too fast?
Correct.
It's all right.
It's
though.
good
You're- I mean,
practice. You are talking
you're
fast,
talking
but
fast,
it's
but
good practice.
It's gonna happen. so-
Here, do we know curriculum? Curriculum?
No.
CM.
Oh, that's right. I didn't know that.
Mhm. Now your program is funny. It comes off this way. Now it's not necessarily wrong, but I would prefer actually to see it
This
this
one?
way or this way. So curriculum or curriculum doesn't really matter.
Okay.
I think one of the deaf teachers taught this way,
Yeah.
which is
I think-
really not wrong,
but-
but I prefer the other way. Okay.
With any program, assessments is key to be able to give 5 baseline scores where the students start off and see where they end after their enrichment is employed. So throughout the course of the summer, each child will be given short reading and math assessments. So again, the kids will be given an assessment at the beginning and then throughout the course of the summer just to gauge their growth. And again, the goal of this is to have them participate in these academic groups and then assess them to see how much they're learning and how much they're improving. Their assessment scores will be tracked throughout the course of the summer, and then at the end of the summer, the parents will be informed so that they're aware of what the students were learning throughout the course of the summer. And the goal is for them to keep at the same level they were at the end of the school year or improve. Another area that we'll be focusing in is life skills. Throughout the course of the summer, the students will be engaging in activities that focus around life skills, and some of these topics will include respecting yourself and others. A lot of times some kids don't know how to respect their own bodies and other people around them, so that's a key point that we want to focus on. The next one is leadership and honesty, and knowing the importance of those two. The next one is saying no to drugs. A lot of times in this day and age, a lot of students are faced with drugs and different things outside in the community. So making them aware and teaching them how to say no is one of the important factors that we want to hone in on. Another one is environmental awareness. The next one is health and hygiene and responsibility. The older students that are part of our program, and even some of the younger students, often have issues with hygiene. And so making them aware and giving them the opportunity to tell their parents that they may need deodorant or they need a new toothbrush or whatever necessities that they need is important. Because oftentimes if a teacher calls home to a parent and says, well, your child stinks today, sometimes their parents might be offended. So making the children aware of themselves and, being comfortable in telling their parents about their needs is important. Next one is accepting others, goal setting, cooperation and teamwork. managing stress and resolving conflicts. A big one today is resolving conflicts. A lot of times conflicts, they end in bullying. So giving them the different strategies to handle situations and conflicts that they have with friends is important. And then believing in yourself and self-esteem is very important. A lot of times we think of young ladies having self-esteem issues, but in reality, a lot of young men have self-esteem issues as well.
And we were just talking about that idea in this class, weren't we? Believing in yourself and self-esteem. It starts as early as little young kids, and it continues into adulthood. Hope y'all heard that. I'm thinking about that.
Okay. This is the behavior policy that I talked about at the beginning. Again, it's the 3 strikes you're out system, and each kid has strike cards. During the course of the day, in the program, we engage in various activities. So in order to have fun and be successful during the summer, the children need to be able to follow the directions that are given by the designated teacher. If the child decides not to follow the rules, it will result in them receiving a strike. The students are asked, when they are given a strike, they are asked to pull their own strike card, just to make them aware and give them the accountability. Oftentimes when they have to pull their strike card, they have to get up in front of the group and go and pull their card themselves. And so oftentimes some kids are embarrassed because of that, but it kind of makes them aware, and they know that they don't want to be embarrassed in front of all their peers. So oftentimes that helps to lessen negative behaviors. And again, at any point in the day, a parent may be called to pick up the child from the program due to their behavior. As I talked about before, strike 1 means warning. It means correct your behavior. Strike 2 means timeout, and that's usually 10 minutes. And you sit with your head down, the child will sit with their head down, and then have the opportunity to think about their actions. The third one is a call home, but it's actually depending on the severity of the behavior. If it's an altercation, a physical altercation with another kid, they're automatically sent home. And they're actually suspended from the program for 3 days because we do not condone any type of physical altercations. If it's simply being disrespectful to staff, the parents are just called home. Oftentimes, if children act out, and we get the parents on the phone, and simply a word from the parents may calm the behavior. But again, when they get to strike 3, it depends on the severity of the behavior. During the course of the day when they earn strikes, if they earn strikes, we document the behavior. If it's a child that continues to get strikes on a daily basis, we try to think about strategies that we can teach the child so that their behavior changes and help them to make better decisions. So. Here's a tentative list of field trips and activities that we tend to participate in throughout the course of the summer. And again, all these field trips are free to the students. Some include COSI, YMCA swim lessons, Columbus Zoo, Zambezi Bay, bowling, Magic Mountain, Skate Zone 71, the Ohio State Fair, Easton Movies, Auntie Anne's Pretzels. They sometimes give tours to the kids, and so they're able to go back into the kitchen and see how the pretzels are made, and then they give samples to the kids. The Groveport Aquatic Center.
Here, this was a really good example. I didn't see if you did anything before, but how she's going through, so blah, 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 blah. And so she's naming them. And so this is a good, you may not be able to keep up with everything, but then she talks about Auntie Anne's Pretzels, and sometimes they give tours, so you can say, what's a quick way of referring to Auntie Anne's Pretzels? What's one sign that we can use there to say where we are in the list that she's now talking about?
Pretzels or restaurants?
Pretzels. I'm thinking
I don't know how to do
pretzel. Oh,
there
pretzels.
We go.
Sorry, it's kind of like Olympics. So pretzels, pretzel place. That old tours sometimes, so we can like, yeah, movies, pretzels. Like the names are up here, but we can give them references onto where we are in that list, especially when she starts talking about one specifically. How are we going to say, see, pretzels? We don't have to figure spell all that. Just do something in that name.
Okay.
Or like Groveport Aquatic Center, she talks about that. The Water Center, something like that.
I'm done.
Oh, are you? Okay, come on.